Very unique. The lasting power is out of this world. Projection is nuclear as well. But let me tell you, this one is like 10 notches above. It's very loud. It's a fragrance that will announce you before you enter the room. Everybody will smell you before you enter the room. Man, this perfume is so luxurious smelling. Gosh, this fragrance smells like $1,000,000. Seriously.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Giselle. I review fragrances. Welcome if you're new here, and welcome back if you're one of my loyal returning subscribers. So today is back to basics. Fragrances that smell nice, beautiful, actually divine. I think that sometimes we need a break from top lists for whatever.com. Top 10 for life, top 10 for spring, top 10 for date nights, top 5 femme fatale fragrances. And don't get me wrong, I do those videos too. But like I said, sometimes we need to go back to basics and talk about what fragrances are about. And it's to smell nice, right? As simple as that. And today I have 5 fragrances that, in my opinion, smell absolutely divine. And on top of that, they are super duper long lasting. So without further ado, let's dive in. The first fragrance I have on my list today is Faith for Fantasy by Philly & Phil. This is a German brand. They recently made it to the US. You can find here a few of their fragrances, but just a few. And this one, unfortunately, it's not available here in the US. At least I couldn't find it anywhere. The only sites that seem to have this fragrance in stock as of yet are in Europe. But anyway, I wanted to introduce this fragrance to you because I'm pretty sure that sooner or later it will make it to the US, or maybe you go to Europe, or you know someone who lives in Europe or is traveling to Europe and can bring this fragrance for you. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's my favorite from the house. It's an ambery, musky, sweet, creamy, praline and caramel type of scent. It's very beautiful. Musk, praline, I would say musk and caramel are the most prominent notes. Praline here has more of a supporting role. There's no nutty notes, no chocolatey accords or anything like that. Here provides a lot of creaminess and also depth. Sometimes notes are used in perfumery to provide an olfactory experience rather than scent. And this is exactly what's going on here. You can truly smell the praline. Like I said, there's no nutty notes here, nothing chocolatey, nothing typical from praline notes when they are dominant and present. Nothing like that, but praline provides depth, provides complexity, creaminess, and also sweetness. It's really stunning. It's a very feminine fragrance. Let me try it here. So good. It's very feminine, very flirty, so stunning. The projection is out of this world. The other day I went to pick up my kids at school, and my daughter, the moment she opened the door, she asked me, "Mom, what are you wearing? I can smell it from here." She wasn't even in the car when she said that. The moment she opened the door, she could smell my fragrance. And I only sprayed 2 spritzes that day. I remember clearly it was 2 spritzes, 1 on each wrist. And I haven't even sprayed right before going to pick them up at school. It was like maybe a couple hours earlier. So it is very strong. It has incredible lasting power. I get around 10 hours. In projection, as you can see, is nuclear. It's absolutely gorgeous.
This fragrance was created as unisex. To me, is 90% feminine and 10% masculine. But of course, you can wear whatever you want. I don't find this fragrance truly unisex, but who cares? As long as you like it, as long as it makes you feel good, wear whatever you want. It's a really beautiful fragrance. I truly hope you can get your nose on this. And if you tried Faith for Fantasy, let me know because I can't wait to hear your thoughts. The next fragrance on my list that smells absolutely divine is Perfumes Patchouli by Electines. This perfume, guys, is one of the most, so good. It's one of the most beautiful patchouli fragrances you can find out there. Even if you don't like patchouli, although this fragrance is patchouli forward, left and right, front and center, it is a patchouli fragrance, undoubtedly. But it's different. This is more like a mossy green type of patchouli. Nothing dirty here. It's not the type of patchouli that smells like wet soil or rotten leaves. It's not the type of patchouli that sometimes smells a little bit animalic, strong, dirty, earthy, nothing like that. I wish you could feel what I'm feeling through the screen. This fragrance, I don't know, weighs like a pound, at least a pound. It's super duper heavy. And the bottle, guys, is so gorgeous. Let me show you. Look at this. So gorgeous. It's not a travel-friendly bottle, but you can always make decants. You can find a workaround. The fragrance truly is beautiful. As I was saying, this is kind of a sweet, clean patchouli, but it has like a honey type of sweetness. It's woody, it's floral, it's fruity, it's spicy. So good. Slightly juicy as well. It's very bright in the opening. It has that beautiful feminine floral heart. Patchouli fragrances usually tend to be more unisex, but this one, I would say, it's one of those more feminine leaning. It's sweet, but it's more like honey sweet rather than sugar sweet. It's really beautiful. This is what I would call a disrupted patchouli fragrance. Why? Because usually patchouli is a note that we typically see associated with rose, leather, woody notes, boozy notes, aromatic notes, but usually we don't see green patchouli fragrances, which is what Perfumes patchouli is. I've read tons and tons of comments on the internet comparing this fragrance to Straight to Heaven by Kilian. And if you want my opinion, let me tell you, they couldn't be more different. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Kilian. It's one of my favorite houses. It's one of the houses I have more fragrances from. But let me tell you, I prefer this one. I think it has a lot of personality, and it doesn't even need to be compared with anything. I don't really understand the need to constantly compare fragrances to other fragrances, because that could be a blessing and a curse. And those perceptions are 99% subjective. So if you buy a fragrance because someone said that it's similar to this one, and then you buy it and you don't find them similar, it will lead to a major disappointment. So always test fragrances first. If you don't have a chance, and if you're a blind buyer, I don't encourage people to blind buy, but if you are gonna buy no matter what, just do your own research, make your own judgment, and make your own decisions. Never buy a fragrance based on what people say. For some people, this fragrance is almost identical to Straight to Heaven. For me, they couldn't be more different. And again, this one has such a strong presence. I think that's even unfair to compare this fragrance to anything. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. So good. This fragrance is pretty juicy and fruity in the opening. It has pomegranate. Pomegranate is a note that, yeah, it's a fruity note, of course. But aside from being juicy, it's slightly tart, which I love in this particular case, because otherwise it would be a very sweet patchouli fragrance. And the pomegranate with its tartness, although it's slightly tart, it's not really tart like rhubarb, but still it's enough to balance the sweetness here. Really beautiful. It's also spicy because it has cardamom. You get the cardamom right in the opening. It has a beautiful floral core where we find the patchouli, rose, and jasmine. The jasmine here is not indolic, nothing heavy here. It's very beautiful. And to me, the dry down is where the magic happens, because we have sandalwood, we have ambergris, we have honey, and we have cedar. So we have a solid, creamy, woody base, but not too creamy, because cedar, it's actually a dry, woody note that balances the creaminess from the sandalwood. And all that combined with ambergris truly wraps up the whole composition. To me, Perfumes patchouli, it's a nighttime fragrance. It's super long lasting. It lasts 10 hours on my skin, if not more. It's very elegant. It smells very luxurious. Don't think that this patchouli smells vintage or Coachella type or nothing like that. It's a very luxurious patchouli. So if you like this type of scent, especially clean patchoulis, Perfumes patchouli by Electimus is a must try. Guys, the next one on my list is Gingembre Petillant by Atelier Versace. Atelier Versace is the private blend. Versace, aside from being a luxurious, high-end brand, is also renowned for being bold, unapologetic, bright, luxurious, and certainly not for the faint of heart. There's nothing shy in their designs. And this fragrance, let me tell you, represents the brand at its best. It's really, really luxurious. It's one of the best fragrances from this line. I absolutely love this. I fell in love with this perfume, and I can't put this bottle down, and I've been wearing it non-stop. It's a nighttime fragrance, perfect for date nights. It's very loud. It's a fragrance that will announce you before you enter the room. Everybody will smell you before you enter the room. Very beautiful, pretty similar to Instant Crush by Mancera, but let me tell you, this one is like 10 notches above. It's less screechy. It smells more luxurious. It smells more expensive. It probably isn't as long lasting. On my skin, Instant Crush lasts 12-15 hours, and trust me, sometimes I find it annoyingly long lasting. This one is also long lasting. It lasts anywhere between 8 and 10 hours. That is really, really good lasting power. The other one is 12 to 15. And sometimes it's annoying that it lasts that long because I like to switch my fragrances throughout the day. The opening is super duper vibrant, very sparkling, which in fact that's the name. Gingembre Petillant means like sparkling ginger in French. It's very vibrant, very luminous, very bright, very uplifting. It has that ginger in the opening that not only gives a kick but also provides like a deep spicy sweetness that the moment you sniff it, it feels like it goes straight to your brain. It's so strong but also very invigorating and very uplifting, as I was saying before. Very, very beautiful, super luxurious smelling. I would put this perfume in the same league as Baccarat Rouge 540. Not because they are similar, they are not similar. They might have, I will say they have a similar scent profile. They are like distant cousins, but don't think they are similar fragrances because they couldn't be more different. Again, I would put them under the same umbrella, the same league. I would wear Gingembre Petillant for the same occasions, the same type of events. I would wear Baccarat Rouge 540, but they are different fragrances, undoubtedly, totally different. It's a very complex fragrance. After the top notes evaporate, which takes a while, usually the top notes evaporate anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. This one takes longer. And keep this in mind, the longer the lasting power, the longer it takes for the top notes to evaporate. It's not a rule of thumb, there's nothing written in stone, but in my experience, that has been the case. And after the top notes evaporate, the fragrance transitions into a floral core where we have ylang-ylang, we have praline, which provides a lot of creaminess and also sweetness. And we also have jasmine here, which is a very clean jasmine, nothing dirty, nothing heady, nothing narcotic, very, very beautiful scent. It's a unisex fragrance, but in my opinion, it leans more feminine. Yeah. Projection and sillage are incredible. One thing I love about this fragrance is that projection here is very consistent. It projects really strong in the first couple hours, and then the fragrance tones down a little bit, but it never becomes a skin scent and will continue projecting for the entire lifetime of the fragrance. Beautiful fragrance, although the scent profile is not unique, the scent itself is pretty unique in my opinion. And it smells so luxurious, so expensive, and if you're into this type of scents, Gingembre Petillant is a must-try. The next fragrance that smells absolutely divine is Moon Dance by Juliette Hassagan. This perfume belongs to the luxury line, to their luxury collection, which is like a private blend. And this perfume is so luxurious smelling. Gosh, this fragrance smells like $1,000,000. Seriously, there's nothing like this. It's a chic fragrance. It's my favorite olfactory group. Most of the fragrances in this category usually are super elegant and very luxurious smelling. Moon Dance opens with a strong and bright bergamot note. It's very uplifting in the opening, very, very bright. So good. It also has violet, it has rose, it has patchouli. Of course, it has to have patchouli because it's a cheaper fragrance, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It leans a little bit on the mature side. I don't like to talk about age. It could be leaving people out of the pool. And honestly, it doesn't have anything to do with age. The way you perceive fragrances has more to do with your nose and your appreciation for perfumery as an art rather than age. I would say that this fragrance, although it's a little bit mature leaning, it's for those who appreciate fine French perfumery. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're 95. As long as you appreciate that type of perfumery, as long as you appreciate this type of scent, and you're not just about the latest Puma release, then you will be able to appreciate this fragrance because it's a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece. It's a pretty strong fragrance. It's a fragrance that you should wear if you want to be smelled before you enter the room. I always use the same comparison because I have heard that all the time here, and it seems to be something that most people appreciate in perfumes. With this fragrance, people will smell you before you enter the room. It's not for the faint of heart. It's a bold perfume. It's an I'm here type of scent. It's very luxurious smelling. To me, this is all Hollywood glam on steroids, period. This is a fragrance for a red carpet event or the likes. In those cases, this is the type of perfume you want to wear. At least this is what I would wear. Moon Dance to me is one of those perfumes I save for special occasions. Whatever that means to you, I always say that it doesn't matter. Special occasion could be, having a pizza in your kitchen with your hubby, with your significant other, your kids. It doesn't really matter. That is also a very special occasion. But if you want to get fancier, if we are talking about events in a venue or a party or anything like that, that is the type of special occasions I'm talking about. Absolutely beautiful scent. Projection is incredible. Just like Gingembre Petillant, this perfume projects for the entire time the fragrance remains on your skin. It's really beautiful, 100% a nighttime fragrance. To me, it smells very feminine. I wouldn't say this is a unisex scent, but again, wear whatever you want. It's a feminine fragrance, very sexy, very sensual, very bold, very alluring. It's very deep, very rich. It's absolutely stunning. All I have to say about Moon Dance is positive. It's a really, really gorgeous perfume. It lasts about 10 to 12 hours on my skin. Lasting power is just as great as projection. Sillage is also incredible. It's a winter type of scent. I only wear this perfume during the winter. The colder, the better. Moon Dance. I'm sorry, it has this mirror blade that gets fingerprints so easily. But it looks beautiful, I promise. It's such a gorgeous fragrance. Moon Dance by 𝘿𝙁𝙎. And the last fragrance for today is J'adore by Mind. This fragrance is so gorgeous, and it's definitely worth the hype. I should have included it in my previous video. So good. This is a fruity fragrance. Well done, and it's one of the very few fruity fragrances that doesn't smell juvenile. Usually, fruity fragrances tend to be very youthful, beautiful. Nothing against that. It's just that most of them smell very youthful or more teenage leaning. Well, this one is completely ageless. It's very juicy, bright. It has a slight tartness as well. It also has pomegranate. Pomegranate is a note that I love, and I like this too. You can see the notes here. Top, middle, and the dry down, and also has mandarin in the top notes. So we have that juiciness, but also tartness, not only from the pomegranate, but also from the mandarin. Mandarin can be very sweet, very juicy, but very tart too. And this is the case here. Mandarin is like firm and center. It also is something syrupy, not necessarily super sweet. Actually, it's slightly tart, but I do pick something syrupy here, and it's probably coming from the pomegranate. It's a very complex fruity fragrance, which combines leather and patchouli as well. Very beautiful. It's a daytime or nighttime type of scent. I think it's seriously 50-50. It could be a daytime scent if you go light on the spritzes, but it could be a great fruity nighttime scent as well if you overspray a little bit. In my experience, all Mind Games fragrances have incredible lasting power, and they are very strong as well. Strength and lasting power not necessarily go together. The fact that a fragrance is long-lasting doesn't necessarily mean it's strong. Sometimes even extrait de parfum sit close to the skin, and they are not projecting, they are not really loud, however, they are very long-lasting. So those two things don't necessarily go together. Now, Mind Games master the art of making strong fragrances and also super duper long-lasting, and this is exactly what J'adore delivers. The top notes evaporate, and again, since this is a very long-lasting fragrance, it lasts around 10 hours on my skin. you can expect the top notes to last a little longer. But after the top notes evaporate and the fragrance starts to transition, you will start getting more of the leather and also the patchouli. Very complex. What I find interesting here is that each note has a very specific task. For example, as the fragrance transitions, you will start getting more of the leather. The leather note here is what, in my opinion, makes this fragrance completely unisex. Otherwise, it would be 100% a feminine fragrance, as most fruity perfumes are. The leather here gives that unisex component. It balances the sweetness and it also deepens the fragrance, while the patchouli in the dry down anchors the whole composition, provides more complexity, and it shows what of a masterpiece these people have created, because it's a fragrance with lots of facets. It smells very luxurious, very intoxicating, very addictive. Honestly, considering it's a fruity fragrance, it surpassed all my expectations in all the departments. The scent is very unique, the lasting power is out of this world, projection is nuclear as well, and it has that uniqueness factor that I always talk about and I really appreciate in perfumery, especially when we pay the price tags. This brand is not cheap, however, I think it's one of the few out there that's truly worth every penny. I have quite a few fragrances from Mind Games, and I would say this is one of my favorites. My top one is 𝘍𝙑. I will talk about it in another video. This one, I think it's my second contender. I think this one, it's very different. I think it would be unfair if I say it's my second contender, because it's not. It's so different than 𝘍𝙑, which is my top one, that yeah, it would be unfair. But what I'm trying to say is that I have quite a few fragrances from this house. None of them have ever disappointed me. And I hope they bring new ones, because I can't wait to see what's next in store for Mind Games. And this beauty is 𝘠𝙢. Guys, this is it for today. This wraps up my video about 5 fragrances that smell divine. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything in particular you would like to see next. Please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.